We got hit for the last round. My record is not great. And we got paired up. So our opponent is 2-1. And maybe we'll just concede at the end here. Assuming we're winning, of course. And our hand is kind of reasonable, kind of not. Depends what this Temple of Silence means. If it's Abzan, then we're okay. But Bile Blight is not great. We need some Ojutais. And that is the cure to most problems, except for the problem I had in round 2, where more Ojutais did not cure anything. Made me lose. Most of the time, Ojutai is pretty good. So we'll see, though. We'll see. Not expecting this Bile Blight to do a whole lot. The 5th land is also probably not very good, but we can still curve out Caryatid into Rhino, and maybe that'll do something. But yeah, it looks just like an Abzan-ish mirror, but he is the aggro deck. Okay, so now we're not looking too bad anymore. So do we go Caryatid Rhino, or do we Bile Blight his thing? I think we just go Caryatid into Rhino. This could end up being kind of poor. If he goes like Anafenza into removal spell, then we're super far behind. Okay. So no 3-drop, which is pretty nice. Now I kind of want to Bile Blight his Lion on his turn. And certainly going to keep another Siege Rhino. So okay, he's going to Abzan Charm, draw 2. Maybe I want to actually block his Lion and then Bile Blight it. So if he Abzan Charms to give counters, at least I'm not taking the 2 damage. Oh, I guess I could get kind of blown out here by a Dramoka's command. If he puts a counter on it, that'd be kind of bad. But we're committed. Might not be the worst thing to actually eat his turn to get him to command his thing, but yeah, so now we actually take 2 less damage, which is great. Now he has a 5/5 Lion against our parade of Rhinos, which is not great, but at least we didn't take the damage there, and we got him to kind of skip his turn. That's pretty nice. Now we just need to find a removal spell for this little kitty cat. Maybe we can race with these Rhinos. He's used 2 charms already. Maybe doesn't have much in the way of removal. But, you know, if he has a single Siege Rhino, it'd be pretty bad as far as our plans are concerned. So 20-12, we're ahead. And I think we navigated that pretty well, where we got a little bit of a tempo advantage there. But taking 5 on the backswing, and then, yeah, if he has a Rhino, we're in kind of bad shape. There's an Ojutai, so that certainly helps. So we'll just run that thing out there. Rhinos can bounce. And then I actually have a decision to make if he doesn't play a 5th land, which is maybe trade Ojutai for Fleece Mane Lion. Alright, so he's just getting in there with the Lion. So what does this mean? Does this mean he just wants to trade it with the Ojutai? I think that's probably what this means, but him having 6 cards, this seems like kind of a bad deal for me, so I think I'm just going to chump instead. I have all the mana I need, so that's not really a huge concern. And then now he has to keep removal open. And next turn, I can probably just play another Rhino, and then I guess I can't double block his line anymore because he played a Temple. So the only thing he could really have had there was Stance to protect his thing, or he was just willing to offer the trade. Because if he had an Abzan Charm, I could just double block. This is more rhinos? So many rhinos. I remember when it was 20 to 12 and I was ahead. Oh, actually, yeah, I should have attacked there first, I guess. I was going to do that, because maybe I could have found an Elspeth and actually just wiped the board or something. We found Abzan Charm, so I wasn't going to play that anyway, so that's good. Maybe I would have played the Thoughtseize, but I don't think so. I'm already pretty low on life. So Lion comes in, we can't really block that. So we go down to 7. And I'm not playing super well, and he has a Courser in his deck and an Elspeth. So he's so maybe he's just like normal Abzan, I guess. Just has the lions in his deck. So Thoughtseize is kind of whatever. Abzan Charm is obviously great, but if he doesn't have a way to kill my Ojutai, then we're in pretty good shape. Medium good shape. So I could play the Courser first to work that a little bit with the Ojutai. Or I could try an Ojutai into something like an Elspeth. I think chances are more likely that I hit a removal spell. Well, chances are definitely more likely. So I think we just play the Courser first. Valor Stance is good. Definitely taking the stance. No land on top. We get to gain a life. So now he's at 4. We have a stance, so we need to use that to protect our Ojutai. So if I go block Rhino, Courser on Fleece Mane, I lose if I Thoughtseize down to 5 and he kills my Rhino and tramples over. So I don't think I can cast this Thoughtseize. I think we just have to pass. Yeah, so we're still in the same spot where you have to put Rhino on Rhino and Courser on Lion. Elspeth is great. You're going to make soldiers, which doesn't make any sense, and then concede. Okay. So, Ojutai goes all the way. Excellent. Self-inflicted wound, Valor Stance, Glare of Heresy. Those are all great. And everything else is pretty great. So, Vile Blight can maybe go. Could also see a Thoughtseize and or a Caryatid going because the matchup's kind of grindy, but excuse me. As we saw in earlier rounds, Caryatid is still pretty good, even these grindy matchups, just because it fixes our mana, accelerates out Ojutai and whatnot. So, I'm a little wary about cutting all of them. I think we can safely cut a Vile Blight, because we have other ways to deal with Lion, and drawing one Vile Blight is probably fine. And then maybe a Thoughtseize or two. And I kind of like everything else. I could see cutting a Caryatid instead of a Thoughtseize. Yeah, we'll try that. We'll try shaving on the cards that are not super good if we're grinding. I could also see Risen Executioner here. But it's like really tough to get this through his Siege Rhinos and Elspeths and stuff, so probably not great. Well, maybe I want Read the Bones, actually. Maybe I'm supposed to cut these Thoughtseizes and just play some Read the Bones. Let's play 2 Reads, keep the Caryatid. Or should I have 1 Thoughtseize and 3 Caryatids? That seems kind of weird, but I think with Read the Bones, I might want the acceleration, so I'm not falling super far behind. Lets me play multiple spells in a turn. So I think that makes more sense to just cut Thoughtseize entirely. Beller's Stance is great. And this hand is pretty great. We don't have white mana currently. That's always how it seems to work out. I draw the Palaces or the Citadels together. Which is not really how we drew it up. Well, it just kind of is what it is. Alright, that's a great card to draw. Still no white mana, but still doing okay. So playing a lion, we probably have to wound that so it doesn't get out of control, and then we have a bunch of tap lands to play, but I think that's okay. Because we don't really want to play Courser on turn 3 anyway. So playing tap land and then Courser is not that big of a deal. Well, now we might not have the option since we're getting Thoughtseized. And we draw a Foul Tongue. So still no white mana. We will scry in the search of it. That's a downfall. I'm not going to put that on the bottom. And he doesn't even have a Rhino. So we'll go scrying again. And that's a Rhino, which we can't cast. So unfortunately I have to bottom that thing. But it's okay. I like our spot. We have a bunch of things that interact. So we have plenty of time. And I wouldn't be surprised if he Charmed here. Okay. So if you're going to do that, maybe do a main phase to hit a Thoughtseize, but all my cards are kind of the same thing, so maybe that doesn't matter all that much. And we're getting Rhinoed, and we're going to downfall that, even though he doesn't know... Well, no, we shouldn't do that, because then we could die to Elspeth. So yeah, we'll just Foul Tongue this thing. Do need black. White mana. Or white spell. Oh dear. Read the Bones would be great. I'm glad I brought those in. Maybe I want the third one since I'm on the play for game 3, if that does indeed happen. He has a Death Misraptor, which is quite good. So maybe he is the Megamorph deck. Maybe he has Den Protector as well. And there's a lion. Okay, a lion's gonna die. And we drew another white card. And I'm telling him to not concede. Because I'm probably just going to concede to him, since I can't win anything and he can. And hopefully he sees that message. So Downfall doesn't deal with this Raptor too well, so I'm just going to take the hits. And Rhino is a thing worth downfalling, I suppose. Pretty bad if he ends up having Elspeth, but I can't really deal with the Rhino anyway. Unless I draw white. Carried. That's a suspend white mana. It's not bad. And if he ever plays an Elspeth, I'm in real big trouble. He just has a parade of rhinos over here. There's a Haven. So that casts our Ojutai. But I'm not sure that's actually enough. I think I'm going to have to charm... I have to charm something. I suppose it's the Rhino. So we take 1 less point of damage. If he has his own charm or another Rhino, we're just dead. I could chump, but then that turns off my future Abzan charm, so I think it's better to just go to 2 here. If he gets to ever play 6 lane in an Elspeth, like, I think we're just too far behind. We can't win. But should probably just Thoughtseize the charm here, because I can just Haven back the Ojutai. Which makes sense. And then what? Any follow-up? I'm dead to probably any follow-up. I probably would have just killed me with that one, but who can turn down drawing 2 cards, you know? Alright, we have a Heath. Came a little too late. And we cast Ojutai off the Haven instead of keeping Haven open so that we can chump with Caryatid, because I think that's basically the only way we're going to win this. I'm not going to win by trading Ojutai for the Raptor, I don't think. And that's a morph, so I lose to basically anything. And Citadel is not really going to do it, so in order for me to win, this morph needs to be a Raptor, not a Den Protector, and I need to find a Rhino here, I think. Or I just die. So it was in fact a Den Protector, and we were not going to find a Rhino anyway. Alright, I want this Read the Bones. I am fairly happy with no Thoughtseizes, so we'll keep that. And Foul Tongue Invocation is kind of bad if he has Raptor and Death Mist. So maybe we go up to a second Bile Blight, so I can kill his morphs. Although I could see an Executioner being pretty good as well. It's not super great against Abzan Charm, but it's one of the few things that can actually keep pounding into a Raptor. So yeah, we're on the play. We're going to try and give him a little beat down. Maybe these stances aren't good. Maybe one stance is all I really want. We'll try the other Executioner. So, configuration a little bit different on the play. And we have Caryatid into the Rhinoceros. So again, a hand with white and no blue, but we do have the Caryatid to fix that. So hopefully no self-inflicted wounds are happening. I like my draw. My draw's pretty good. I've certainly seen worse. Another Caryatid doesn't help all that much, but it's still not bad. And we're getting Thoughtseize, so that's not great. If I were him and had a removal spell, I could easily see taking the Abzan Charm, which is what happens. So I'm just kind of getting wrecked here. Need to draw an Ojutai, as always. There's an Opulent Palace. Could also use Read the Bones. I'll also accept that. Executioner might not be bad as well. Yeah, maybe he doesn't have a removal spell for this. No, well, never mind. He does indeed. It is dead. It is a dead Rhinoceros, and we have just drawn like poop. We have not drawn many good spells. We've drawn a spell, and it has been a Caryatid. So it needs some sort of action to actually stay in this game, and his Thoughtseize in a Glare was like the perfect response to my hand. Elspeth would also be pretty great. Got a lot of live ones. Opponent finally responded to our message, so that's good. Glad that I'm just not taking 6-packs out of his pocket. Oh, read the bones. Hello. How are you? Ojutai Rhino. Top and top. And I think it is better to just play a Rhino here to block his rather than using a downfall that could otherwise kill an Elspeth. Obviously, I take a little hit on the chin if he kills it and attacks me, but I think that's okay. And we draw another Rhino. So he's kind of tight on manas. So we're going to play Ojutai. And then if he hits me with Rhino, that's fine. I can go to 12. I have another Rhino to go back up to 15. And then he can't really tap out. And unfortunately, we don't have Thoughtseize in our deck, so we can't make him discard his removal, but it makes it so he can't tap out, which is pretty nice. So he can't actually develop his board at all. Now we have a Rhino to play D. If he kills this Rhino, then we're probably going to want to downfall his, so he can't hit us again. Although I could see just double chumping for a turn. So yeah, it's probably just better to play the other Caryatid. And he did not remove our Rhino, so maybe it was all for naught. So he might just be sitting on one last removal spell. Just saving it for the Ojutai. And he has 7 spells and he's stuck on 4 lands. So this Ojutai has been awesome in making it so he can't play anything. Granted, I haven't been really doing much either, but if he was just like unloading on the board, then we'd actually have a lot of problems. So this has been pretty nice. Now, since I have the Abzan Charm, I'm going to downfall his Rhino and attack with mine. So I kind of just like duressed a downfall there. And now I can start attacking with Courser. And I actually get to... Oh, I can actually attack with Ojutai now too, so that's great. Because we have another Ojutai on top. So attack with Ojutai Courser. He charms my Ojutai, which is fine. We're going to draw 2 cards here. Hit him for 2, play our extra land for free, and then play out our other Ojutai. So the subgame has been paying dividends, making it so he cannot cast his spells. He did draw another land, but it's a tappy land. And now he's just in. He just has to play Raptor. Because otherwise he falls too far behind. So, he could have a Murderous Cut. That is certainly possible, but... yeah, just does not have it. We're going to pick up... Ooh, do we want to Read the Bones or Self-Inflicted Wound? Wound would clear out his Raptor. And we have 2 Coursers, so that might be able to kill him. So I think that's better. It's tough turning down the ability to draw cards, you know, but we're going to have to do it. And we have another Courser on top. So we'll play that out, gain some life. Yeah, if he plays Den Protector, it's whatever. Den Protector to get back the Raptor. So then it means that my Coursers won't be able to get through, but he's still gonna die to Ojutai. So Ojutai has been the big winner in this match. So majestic. Yeah, I think this should cover him on basically all fronts. And yeah, he said GG's, so I'm gonna concede. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Ojutai did a lot of work against his 5 spells because he was kind of stuck on lands. So that ended up working out really well. And I don't think if Ojutai was any other card, I could have won. So we end up going 2-2, lost to the mono black aggro deck, which I don't know, maybe kind of a fluke, but this deck certainly has the potential to have worse draws than a normal Abzan deck. Like either you have problems with your mana, or you're slower and a little bit clunkier, or what have you. So the loss there is perfectly reasonable. I also don't have a lot of stuff against little creature decks, aside from, just the Courser Rhino package. I have some Bile Blights and a couple Drowns, but it's really not that much, especially if they are used to playing around Drown and Sorrow. So that loss is totally acceptable, and then the other one was just a punt against the blue-white control deck. So maybe could have ended up 3-1, maybe better if we didn't punt round 2, but I don't know. I think if I were playing Abzan, just like the straight control list, I would either look at playing the Megamorph package with Den Protector and Deathmist Raptor, or I would look at playing Ojutai. I don't feel like normal Abzan is I mean, it's certainly good, but I don't think it's like good enough, and I think you get a lot from going in either direction, either the Megamorph package or the Ojutai package. So yeah, if you guys are out there playing Abzan, consider this, consider the other one too, because both of them look pretty good.